Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of SPM TV. Sorry for a little bit of glitchy in the beginning there. Some reason the stream's a little choppy. Might have to check the bit rate for the next one. Right now I think everything else is coming through somewhat smooth. However, Jake Sovey, your creative executive director here at SPM Media LLC, we do have an up and coming star in the media industry tonight. Very excited to have her. We always like to obviously talk about the future of the industry and where things are moving. We do have joining us tonight Savannah Easton. Savannah, how are you doing tonight?
Good, really good. I just got off school, and piano lessons, so just joining in the car here.
You sound busy.
Oh yeah, I am. I
Yeah,
have a lot like piano, guitar, travel hockey. Well,
that's a lot, especially to fit into one day and on top of school.
yeah, usually I separate them like in between the week for
Yeah, that's good. Get a couple on one day and a couple on the other. So Savannah, why don't you tell me about how you got your nickname?
well, I've watched Looney Tunes when I was little, and
Y-
so did my dad. So then we were looking for a pool name that was suitable for me.
Yep,
So we, I don't remember how we brought up the Roadrunner, but we brought it up somehow. And we looked at the description and it said like kind hearted but fast, and then always one step ahead of its predator, which is kind of like the predator's kind of like my opponent. So we then looked up all the characteristics of it and it showed that. And then let's see. And then my favorite colors are also blue and yellow, so then we just went with that.
that's super, super cool. Um, now, how long have you been playing pool?
Um, uh, I started getting into like traveling and stuff about 6 months ago, but
Well, you're just
I
really, really getting into it.
yeah. But when I was 4, I remember I saw my dad and his friend playing pool, and
Yep.
then after he left, I wanted my dad to show me some techniques of pool and how to hit the ball. But I was too tiny to reach, so I used a step stool.
Yeah.
And then I had this training cue
Yep.
that had like this cue ball glued to it, and I just poked around.
Yep.
And then 7 years old, I started learning the real how to hold the cue and how to actually hit the cue without poking it.
Yep.
But I quit. I quit playing pool like at 7 or 8, and then after COVID, I started playing pool by myself, and then my dad started watching me, and then he just threw me into the junior nationals, and then
He just threw you in there, huh?
yeah, he just threw me in there. I still had my sidearm and everything. Yeah, I
That's
did.
cool. How'd you place?
Um, I think I got uh ninth or 10th. I
That's
think.
good. That's a pretty big field.
Yeah, but I didn't do so good. The
That's good. We all got to start somewhere. Mhm. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your sponsors, who you interact with, and who you represent in the billiard industry?
my sponsors. So I have Predator, Kamui, Jam Up, Golden State Billiards, which I just got a sponsor from like a day ago, and
That's
then I
great.
have Salado. They help take care of me. Kobe and Reed, they take care of me and help
Yeah, we know
me.
those guys. Those are good guys.
Yeah, they're really nice guys. I met all these sponsors or most of them except Golden State Billiards at the junior national, or not junior
Okay.
nationals, the BCA at the Rio. It,
Yep.
so
And you live in Vegas too, don't you?
yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
perfect for me, local.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay.
Oh, really?
Uh,
I'm up here. The studio is up here in right outside of Reno. So
Yeah, you guys are close.
that just means that she can go to Moscone Cup next time it's held in Vegas again. Woohoo!
yeah,
When she works her way up there, you know.
yeah. I watch them all the time. Let's go, Cup.
Yeah. So, in the industry right now, are there any professional players that you particularly look up to, or that you like their game and want to play more like they do?
Like girls, women's, or men?
Just in general. I mean, we're all humans.
For women's, usually it's Margaret Fefilova and Jasmine Ocean and Allison
Mhm.
Fisher. They've
Yep.
Margaret Fefilova, I met her fiance, which is Tyler Shire, at the BCA. So then
Yep.
after that she started sending me drills
Mhm.
and really helping me with my game.
Right.
And then Jasmine Ocean, she's just really kind. She sent me a happy birthday, a video to me, which really inspired me to get better.
Well, that's great.
And
Um,
then
so you were just saying that she had sent you some training videos for your tournaments coming up. Is there anything specific that you do when you're getting ready for a tournament or like league or something like that to get into your swing, getting into your stroke?
usually before a tournament, I do some drills, some basic drills like cue ball control, getting around, or just a straight jaw back to practice my jaw to get in stroke. And
Yep.
sometimes I just play games with my dad just to build up my confidence. So
Of course.
so I beat him, and then it builds up my confidence for
Oh, yep.
the tournament.
Yep. I've got a daughter too that's 10, and every time she beats me on the pool table, it's the biggest thing in the world.
Are you talking about Willow?
Yes, Willow. Every time she beats me on the pool table, giving her some weight, she runs around the house with her pool cue and praising how good she is and how absolutely terribly crummy I am.
I can imagine she acts. I can imagine she acts like a Spartan, just knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. To those of you who are watching today, we do got to go to a quick commercial break here and just give you a peek at some of our sponsors. We'll be right back with Savannah Easton, one of the up-and-coming stars. She just did say she placed in like the 9th place in the Junior Nationals. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come back from this commercial break. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back.
Rodney Morris exclusive educational content new at SPM Media, Discipline and Development. With instructors like Jackie Carroll, learn from top-rated industry professionals. With SPM exclusive content from professionals like Brian Superman Pauly and more. Improve your game now. Go to SneakyPeteMafia.com, Discipline and Development tab, and sign up for the $1 a month exclusive content access now while prices last.
everybody, and thank you for tuning in to SPM TV. Today we do have up-and-coming star in the industry, Savannah Easton. She has joined us today and is talking a little bit about, you know, some of her life and obviously billiards, pool, and I think we had a couple pretty interesting question concepts happen during our commercial break, and I'm going to go ahead and let Garrett take it away from there.
Thank you. So Savannah, during the commercial break, you were talking about you play on a gold crown. And how do you like that table compared to what you play on in tournaments?
So I was talking about during the commercial break, Ernesto just came to redo it, and he actually diamondized it to play it like a diamond, but it still goes crown table. So the rails are like, they bounce like a diamond, so it's nothing different than a tournament. And the pockets, it's like 4 inches, so
that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
That
so
goes really tight.
Oh, sorry. So all the 4-inch pockets, it usually bobbles things, but when I get into the tournament, it definitely helps a lot because
of course.
Yeah, I can pocket ball better, stuff like that.
Well, that's great. That's great. So we're talking about drills before, and you were saying how you do cue ball control and stuff like that to get ready. Was there anything else that you would like to possibly teach at some point? Coming into junior players, everybody needs to start and learn somewhere. Going from a pool player to teacher, is that something that you would ever like to do?
I definitely want to teach the people, like when I get older, and hopefully when I become a pro or something like that. I hope to coach and inspire other people like me, like when I'm 30 or 20, something like that.
30 or 20 something, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, you know, you can start that at any given point. You don't need to be 30 or 20 or something. You can literally do it at any given point, Savannah.
Yeah. Hopefully, anywhere, when I become a pro, hopefully I can teach other kids like my age.
What's your next big pool tournament coming up? Or do you have a schedule that you follow that you go around nationwide?
My next pool tournament I'm going to, it's in Texas. It's it's the junior, the BF qualifier. So I'm playing that one, and then I'm playing it's the Women's Predator Tour. Yeah. Women's Predator Tour. So I'm playing that in Texas. I'm going on Friday, and do you know Christina? She's the one who's like playing in the tournament. She actually, Christina Schneider. Do you know her?
Okay, yeah.
She got me into the tournament, and I'm actually doing like cue ball signings there. And then
that's so awesome. Yeah, I know that previously I'd spoken to John before, John Bertone, about you, and he kind of turned me on to you guys. And what do you have to do in order to represent Kamui?
Wait, what do you mean? Like, what do I...
Like what? Yeah, what do you do to represent them?
Oh, usually when I'm in tournaments, I talk about the Roku chalk, and then I play with their gloves, and they're actually really comfy. That's
cool.
He makes them in all different sizes, so usually I can't find one that fits me well. It's usually loose, but John makes them for kids and stuff. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Have you met John before in person?
Yeah, I met him at the BCA. That's how I got my sponsor.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, are you going to get a card too? Your little trading card?
Oh yeah, he gave me a bunch of those. He hooks me up with a lot of stuff from Kamui.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So do you have any like really cool pool stories or something that really stands out in your mind about your past playing and kind of would be a really memorable moment for you?
Um, so I was talking about earlier how my dad threw me into the BEF and I never really played. That's like my first real tournament.
Yep.
So I was going in with a sidearm, Keith McCreevy like his. So I was still super short and I couldn't reach the table. So everyone kept pointing out that I had a sidearm. So after the BEF, I worked on trying to straighten it out to get my elbow up. And 3 days later, I straightened up my elbow and I told my dad that I thought I grew like 10 inches taller or something like that.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, you said that you do things to get into, when you practice for a tournament, you do things that you practice. Is there anybody that you're practicing underneath? Do you have any instructors that you follow?
I met Hunter Lombardo at the BCA also. He taught me a lot of stuff like the bridges I have to use for some shots or the stroke I have to use if I have to kind of poke the ball or just long stroke it.
Right.
And then he also taught me how to do my stance to straighten out because I was kind of crooked. Yeah. And then my dad, before tournaments, he sets up drills for me to do for cue ball control or speed control, stuff like that.
That's great. That's great. Now, you mentioned before about kind of becoming a pro and then how you wanted to instruct. What are your goals with pool? I mean, I know you're kind of young and you're just coming into this and you're already got a bunch of different sponsors and people that you represent. So what do you want to do with all this?
Well, I hope to be like Jasmine Ocean or Margaret Pepolovo, obviously. But
Okay.
Someday I want to be like coaching other people, inspiring other people too. Because people like Margaret or Tyler, even people like that, I really look up to them, and I hope other kids will look up to me someday too.
Well, that's great. You have a complete following. The sponsors that you have now will help you with that.
Yeah.
Especially Predator and Kamui, and working with a couple of different pool halls. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got sponsored by Predator?
When I went to the BCA, most of my sponsors came from there, but I was playing in the juniors event, and I wanted to hit some balls, but there was no tables open because there was other adults there too practicing. So I went to the Predator booth, and then I went to the Kamui booth. So I went to the Predator booth, and then I wanted to try out their tables and their cues too. So I was playing there, and then the head of it, Karim, he and Philippe, they both saw me playing, and then Ralph Souquet was there too. So then after Ralph was there, he said, if you beat Ralph, you get a sponsorship, kind of joking around like that. So I thought it was a joke too. So I beat him, and Ralph kind of wanted me to be with Predator because he likes to support the juniors too. And
Nice.
he kind of gave me like the 5-ball, I think, or something. So I ran up from there, and then I went up to Karim one day and I said, hey, I beat Ralph. And then he said, then you get sponsorship. So that's how I got it.
All right.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, Ralph Sakay's been in the industry for a really long time.
Yeah.
He is an avid member of the Moscone Cup from the European side.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of pool? Do you watch a lot of streams when it comes time for that type of stuff?
Yeah, usually I watch most of the pros. It's never really specified.
Other than Looney Tunes.
No, but I watch a lot of the pros, and usually sometimes I don't know what spin to use on French shots, so I just watch them and then I try it at home and then I get it down.
That's good. You know, we represent a guy named Thomas Van Eck, and he has a product called IQ. Um, and it's something that you might look into. It's a training ball that helps you see where you're actually tipping the cue ball. I could get you guys introduced. If you ever heard of that product before?
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of pros that we talk to are using the IQ.
uh, I don't think I've heard of it, but it sounds really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes.
So, Savannah, do you guys, when you plan out your schedule for the year, how many events do you plan out ahead?
Um, well, I just got started like 6 months ago, so we never really planned it until now. But
Yep,
I know this coming year we're gonna have a lot of events. I can't even count.
that's good. That's really great. Jake, do you have any questions?
Well, actually, she was touching. I kind of liked her story on how she was sponsored by Predator. I got the sponsorship, took it as a joke, but then they actually followed through with what they said. And it's hard to find sponsors and people who will back you like that in general. So just keep doing what you're doing. It seems like you're doing fantastic. We're excited to see you and your progress in the industry. Definitely want to keep tabs on that and maybe have you come back on the show later on, especially once you have a set schedule for your events, and maybe we can talk about that, bring you on board, talk about your events, so that it gets a little bit more exposure, so that people can see where you're going to be at, what you're going to be doing, and just follow you on your progress like that. Because in the billiards industry, there's really not that much media right now, so we definitely want to make sure I'm letting as many people know about as much of the youth, up and coming youth, as we possibly can. In the past, there's been focus on a handful of youth, but now we're really broadening the spectrum into a lot of different up and coming youth. Um, and just congratulations on placing so high in the junior national champions, even though you don't think you did so well. So, congratulations on that. With that being said, we are going to have another show tomorrow and then one on Saturday. Hopefully we can get those TBA to be announced and scheduled online on SPM on the Facebook page and on the website. By next week, we will be streaming to the website, to YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously, and any of the choppiness will be figured out. So for those of you who are watching and maybe see some choppiness, I know the audio is coming across really clear. I apologize for the video choppiness. Please bear with us. There's some refining to do. You got to understand there's a lot of different technologies involved here. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and shoot to our closing segment with our sponsors. Savannah, we thank you very, very much for joining us this evening. And there is one thing I think Garrett was getting at. And he asked you a question and you answered fantastically, but after talking with John, people that get sponsored by him